Hey, what's going on Facebook? Miguel Lloyd, Vice President of Marketing Communication for the Atlanta Black Chambers, and welcome to Chamber Live. This is a show that we're going to do periodically to try to keep you up abreast of what's going on in our chamber community. We got so much going on in the community. Let me shut this. Let me see. There we go. We got so much going on in the chamber community that we want to make sure that we give you guys an opportunity to kind of almost get a recap. If you tune into our program, our phone call every Tuesday called Tuesday Talks, a lot of this information will be there as well. That is every Tuesday, and that is at 8:30 a.m. But let me bring in my co-host for this event today. What's going on, sister girl? You got the fly shades on today. They got the fly specs
Yes.
on. This is
Yeah.
Raquel Hill, our chair of the arts and entertainment community. And for people who are been around the chamber, know that she's all things glue when it comes to keeping the chamber together. How you doing today, sis?
I'm doing well, happy and excited about the launch of our very first Chamber Live. So,
Cool. So as I mentioned before, I brought you on. We're going to kind of try to keep everybody up to speed on what's going on with the chamber, all the events we got going on. We got so many amazing committees and everything. And what I'll do is I want to kick it over to you for a minute here. I want you to talk a little bit about the chamber with the most recent activities, and we can start off. Let's start off with what we know every Tuesday morning,
every
8:30 a.m. is Tuesday Talks, hosted by our executive director Melvin Coleman. He has amazing guests. I think last week was Terry Dennison, I believe, from SBA. But let's talk a little bit about Chamber Live. I mean,
all right.
Tuesday Talk. Excuse me.
So, again, just to kind of reiterate some of the things that Miguel has said, Tuesday Talks every Tuesday at 8:30 on our conference line, which we will post here on the website, here on our Facebook page. You plug in and you get to hear what is relevant, what is going on in our community, and what we feel as Black business owners that we would like for you to be aware of. So we touch on all things that impact the Black business community.
Absolutely. We talk about finding out where that PPP money is, some opportunities there. We have some great corporate sponsors, Fiserv, and here I go. I didn't start this, and now I'm gonna forget somebody. Well, we appreciate Fiserv and T-Mobile and Truist, and we had a great event last month during Black History Month for with Truist, and with them we had an opportunity to hear about opportunities to do business with SunTrust and BB&T. For both folks who do not know, they're now Truist as of last year. 2020 was 2020, so there's a lot of things that happened in 2020 we have forgotten about. But that was a big announcement that came across last year. But so let's talk about some of the things. I'm gonna give you the mic here for a minute. Let's talk about some of the things we got going on in the month of March with the chamber.
All right. So, again, good afternoon, good people. As you know, March is Women's History Month. So, one of our first events that we're going to kick off tomorrow, March 5th, is Live with Maggie Anderson. Now, this is not a female attendee only event. Brothers, you are welcome to join us, but join us live on March 5th at 11 a.m. here on Facebook. We're going to go live and we're going to be with the fabulous Maggie Anderson. It will be hosted by our very own chamber member, Michelle Taylor Willis. And it's a great event. Listen in to hear Maggie talk about it. You know, she talks about her 1 year experiment with buying Black for an entire year and how that impacts her and her family. And we'll also catch up with Maggie and talk about what she's doing more currently.
Yeah, that's amazing. You think it's really easy to buy Black, to do anything like that for the entire year? I think it was Killer Mike on. It was a Netflix special he did where he tried to go around and buying Black and found how difficult it was at times. So this is a great deal, and we look forward to seeing that for that event tomorrow. What else you got? What else you got?
On March 9th, next Tuesday, the Arts and Entertainment Committee, which I am the co-chair of, will have our first virtual film talks, and it's called First. It's about that awkward moment, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Mm.
Tune in on Tuesday, March 9th. We will broadcast it here on Facebook, but go ahead and register so that we can have your information and we can keep you up to date and in the know with all things arts and entertainment related. That's going to be at 7 p.m. The film is by a local producer who's wanting to move to Atlanta,
Mm.
and her name is Kima Mingo. The film is called First, and it's by Miss Mingo. So tune in on March 9th for that
Okay.
at 7 p.m.
Okay. I know we got the new women's league event that was actually just announced today. That is going to be about. It's going to be hosted Michelle Glover, our chair of the Women's League, and we've got some amazing women that'll be on that panel. So look for that information. So for those who don't know, you can go to our website, atlantablackchambers.org. All of our information is there. If you follow us on Eventbrite, it is constantly there. You will see, if you follow us, on Eventbrite, you can get the alerts and let you know when new events are posted. I get them all the time here on my phone to let me know what I think I know and what I don't know about the chamber, and it's right there. I know. So make sure you follow us on Eventbrite, and that will get you that information. Also, you can follow us on Instagram. We have a very, very active Instagram community, and we appreciate everybody's following us on Instagram and on Facebook. But let's see what else we got going on in the month of March.
Well, on March 15th at 7:45 a.m., we will have our virtual legislative breakfast. This is coming out of our governmental affairs committee, where we are going to, of course, have a virtual legislative breakfast led by Dr. Diane Adoma. Here at the chamber, we have some dynamic people. Dr. Diane Adoma does a very good job of keeping us in the know of all of the House bills that are being passed.
Absolutely.
What we need to, but she takes the time to read the 48 or so page bills that are being passed, and pulls out the nooks and the crannies for us to focus on, and guides us, telling us to write letters and call our local elected officials to get what we need to have them serve us. So that's on March 15th at 7:45 a.m. It is our 2021 virtual legislative breakfast.
Yeah, that is a very, very important thing that you, because right now we have an issue going on where there's some voter suppression stuff on the floor of the Georgia Senate, and we need to know about it. We need to know how we need to, who we need to call, who we need to reach out to make sure that that we don't have that issue coming around, because in 2022 we're already there, guys. If you don't know, we're in the political season already. The great thing about the chamber is that it is all about us making sure that we are staying on top of all the different areas in our businesses and in our communities. Health and Human Services, Women's League, Veterans Committee, governmental committee. We have a new transportation committee. We're in the real estate space now with my man Matthew Coleman, and so it's I'm really, really proud about what I've seen over the last few years with the growth of the organization, and with wonderful people like this young lady over here. Hold on, let me get that right. Let me this camera stuff got you all reversed and everything. I'm gonna have my man now. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to bring in my man Shawn Boyd, and when I tell you, get ready to be entertained and informed here very shortly, because this brother is sharp. So so all this, I just say that because it's fun. We I'm in a few communities that he's in, and we talk about funny stuff like that. All right, before we bring in Doc, what else you got? What else is on your mind? Anything
All right,
else?
guys.
Oh, let's not forget to get that phone number for me. Give me that phone number for the Tuesday Talks, and we'll put that in the chat too, before people want to hear it. What's the phone number for Tuesday Talks?
All right, I have to look it up.
Yeah, me too.
It's automatically programmed into my phone.
In my phone too. Absolutely. Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. 1-218-895-8208. 218-895-8208. And the code for that is 2005 pound. 2005 pound. And that is our Tuesday Talks every Tuesday morning. But let me slide you in, and appreciate you, Raquel. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. You are the bomb.com, sis. All right. So as we get ready to bring in my guy Doc, Doc is a pretty dope dude. He is all things tech. He's in some communities I'm in, but there's a platform, and actually a platform we're on right now is a platform I use called Ecamm. And it's always so funny. I tell people who say, "Oh, well, and I can get Ecamm and I can do exactly what you're doing, Miguel." Man, maybe not. But Doc is going to talk a little bit about that. He's going to talk about some basic things we need to understand about going live, because right now COVID is what it is. Hopefully we'll be back out and get it back out to play here pretty soon. But if we don't, we're going to continue these meetings like we're having right now. We're going to continue these events, and Doc is going to talk to us a little bit about how to improve on those. My man Doc, what's up, brother?
How's it going? Aloha. Good morning.
And he says for me,
aloha, it's good morning.
because
it's afternoon for y'all.
It's afternoon for us. My man Doc is in Hawaii. So what time is it now for you?
8:12.
8:12 p.m. or a.m.
Yes. Let me
I don't
back
know.
up.
It's all over the
My
place.
head is large. I back up.
So I'm gonna let my man Doc. So Doc, man, first of all, you know I'm a fan. You are the
Thank you, brother.
man.
I appreciate you.
You do some amazing work, and the reason why I wanted to bring Doc on here is because we're all in this space right now where we're doing a lot of these online virtual meetings. We're doing a lot of Zoom calls, webinars, WebExes, and all this good stuff. So we're not going to inundate you with like a bunch of this stuff. But Doc is an amazing resource to answer some questions that you may have. So, Raquel, please put it in the chat. See if we can drive some engagement and get people on, because I want y'all to be able to ask Doc some questions. But Doc, I'm gonna hush up for a minute. I want you to talk about, first of all, this happened. It's been now about 12 months. Everybody's in this space now doing all these online virtual events and everything. Talk to us about how that pivot and how that's changed the online streaming and virtual community.
So, what's really funny about this is here in my community, I tried back in 2012 to get I went around to corporations all over, people that I know from my BNI group and things like that. I went around trying to get them to let stagger morning office, entry, because our traffic situation here is ridiculous. We're a small
Mm,
island, but we
mm,
have, 1.4 million people. Nobody wants to know that, but we're the 11th largest city in the country. Everybody thinks we're Gilligan's Island. You know what I mean?
right, right.
So, like I mean, Portland is 600,000 people. We're double of Portland. We're double of like Phoenix, a lot of other
Mm,
cities and things like that. So our
wow.
traffic is dumb. And I was like,
Yeah.
it'd be good and it'd be great for your employees. Let people do that beginning work, which is normally calendar and email and phone calls, calendar, email, phone calls,
Yeah.
nothing they need to be in the office for. Let them stay home and then have one set come in at 9 instead of 7, have another set come
Mm-hmm.
in at 11, but you will get more work done. Your productivity will go up, will lessen
Mm-hmm.
the traffic, and your employees' health and welfare will be better because they're not worried about what Miguel is doing at school.
Right.
Because they took him to school quietly, they
Right.
let him off the thing, told him I'll smack you if you do something stupid, all of that good stuff, right?
Right.
So nobody wanted to hear it because everybody thinks that everybody was just going to mess off and like watch YouTube and do all this other stuff. And
Yeah.
it was kind of dumb. Now, a bunch of the guys I talked to years ago, they're calling me up and like, bruh, I wish I had listened to you eons ago. And I was like, why is that? Sit back, like, do my sinister villain laugh.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they're like, man, our productivity is through the roof. Our employees are
Absolutely.
super happy when we have our little Friday get-togethers over Zoom, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I told you guys back then, it would be
Yeah.
beneficial for you to pay for their internet bill and let them be at home and realize how much money you'd be saving on office, because some of y'all might be
Absolutely.
able to downsize office, especially places that go over the top swanky office, big wooden recession desk where the girl that's back there is really doing nothing but surfing social media anyway.
Right.
So you just basically gave her a $2,000 or him a $2,000 Herman Miller chair to sit there and be on Instagram.
And that's
So
very true. That's very
it
true.
happened.
I've been work.
Now people are
Yeah.
starting to get it,
They're starting
you
to get it.
know?
I've been working from home, man, for the better part of 10 years. So this was not a pivot for me. It was really everybody else kind of catching up to what a lot of us have already been doing.
Correct.
And you're right. It's really, people are really understanding. That's the first thing I thought about. Real estate is going to be down. You got all these buildings out here now that are unoccupied, and all of that. But with all that comes demands on the overall network, right? So
Correct.
right now, I'm sitting in my office in my home, and my kids, both of them, are out here on Zoom calls in school, and all these televisions in the house are all on some sort of Wi-Fi. And so, talk to us about the importance of, one, from a hardware perspective, that little blue wire you like to always talk about, that thing
Oh
called
yeah,
the
I keep it right over here.
Ethernet cord. Let's start
I
there by
keep it
talking
here
about
to
some basic things
remind
they can do.
people. Yeah, if you're zooming and doing internet calls and things like that, please hardwire your stuff, especially whoever's the breadwinner in the house. Theirs is the most important. We don't want to hear this, but our kids stuff, a lot of it we could teach them ourselves. We just don't want to. So it's kind of important that you keep the money flowing. So that's probably
Yeah.
first and foremost. Like your kids can always get resmart. You know, you can work,
Hmm.
you can put some effort into helping them on that level, but you have to be connected. So you should be in a hardwired situation, even if that requires swapping office. Like if for some reason the modem is near your kid's room and whatever, then okay, kids, you work in my office, I'm gonna work in yours because I need to plug in today because this meeting is important. This meeting is going to get us some new kicks, right?
Yeah.
So make sure
Yeah.
you're hardwired whenever possible. But before we even get into hardwiring or hardware, I mentioned this in the group the other day. I think you might have caught the stream. The first thing almost everybody should do that nobody ever thinks about, call your ISP, right? For many of y'all, it's going to be Xfinity or Cox or Spectrum, Bright Home, whomever, AT&T, Verizon, and be like, yo, am I getting what I'm paying for? If I'm on $100 a month plan, and when I bought this, I was getting 50 down and 5 up, but new folks are on the $100 a month plan getting 300 down and 20 up, who you messing with? You just call them up. And because
Hmm.
9 times out of 10, they won't move you automatically. Now, Spectrum has
Right.
been good, at least my Spectrum here. I believe they're all the same. They've been good now. Since they bought our old company, they automatically bumped everybody to the exact level you were paying for. But
Okay.
a lot of the companies, they don't do that. If you're not smart enough to call and ask, they will keep you on the Rudy Poo plan without having any concept of, wanting to bring you to the right thing that your neighbor right next door just moved in, swapped, pecan pies,
Hmm.
whatever. He got the same speed that's advertised and you still on the old joint from like 2007 because you never called and
Because
asked.
you
So
never
every
call.
6 months
So
you
so so
call
you're
and be
assuming
like,
everybody knows what up and down means. Talk to us a little bit about that up and down. You're talking about the
your
speed thing.
upload speed is the one that's important.
Mhm.
That'll be the smaller number in most people's cases, unless you're on Verizon where you have a matching set. Um, Upload is what allows me to take my camera, my signal, my eCam, and send it all the way to the ATL from H&L. We
Hmm.
do the three-letter thing too because we want to be like y'all, to be honest. Uh, so, so that's the important one. The
Uh-huh.
download is what allows everybody to watch YouTube and Netflix and collect your email and all of that. So the internet, the old highway, model is I-95 North and I-95 South. Right
Yeah.
now, we want the most from your perspective. We want the most important I-95 North speed we can get.
Got it. Got it. Because that's what we're sending out right now to Zoom
That's what you're
calls,
saying. How
to
allows you to look so
all of that.
handsome, bearded, and be spectacled. Very important combination.
My man. So that's interesting because people don't understand. I think one thing that people don't get is that just turning on the computer and just going, there's so many things that are factors that in the issues that you're running into. Is how old is your computer? How much stuff do you have on your hard drive that could be gone? That's just slowing down the overall effectiveness of your computer.
That's a
When I,
big one.
that's something that people don't get. They say, okay, my machine is, I have a 2011 Dell, and I can't figure out why I can't get on this Zoom call.
Yeah, see, I would normally be nice to people, but because you're coming from a chamber perspective, that means we're mostly dealing with business folks.
Yeah.
Business
Yes.
folks don't want to hear this. If your computer's more than 3 year old, you are putting harm on your business, not the harm on your wallet. You think because I don't want to buy a new computer. I didn't want to eat broccoli, but grandma said eat the broccoli.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, from a business perspective, it is quite important that you don't let your computers get older than about 3 years. And people talk about the money and this and that. For almost every business in the planet now, the computer is probably 40, 50, sometimes 70, 80% of your productivity anyway.
Yeah.
So, why would you cripple the one part of your business that can make the largest difference
Yeah.
outside of yourself?
Yeah.
you know Now they'll quickly go out and join some organizations or buy some fly business cards or buy big old ad in the newspaper or whatever, but you're creeping on an old machine. It doesn't make any sense. So if you can talk to your accountant and talk to them about possibly leasing. I lease my master computers because I have no choice but to swap them out every 2 years. Now, this
Mm.
fully loaded iMac over it, I mean fully loaded iMac over here, in the street, it's about 4,400 bucks. I
Hmm.
pay $96 a month on the business lease, and I don't think about it because what I trained my brain is that I'm not paying for that. My customers are.
Yeah,
It doesn't come out of my pocket. My
that's very
customers
true.
pay for that. My customers pay for Ecamm. My customers pay for Adobe Creative Suite. It's all part of my thing, just like rent or telephone bill or whatever. That's your customers are paying for that, and it's hard to get your brain around that. But once you do that, then your tech side, you're not worrying about being in the middle of the project when your computer does something really stupid, and that's more likely when the computer is older.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Miguel, they don't build them like they used to. Same with whips, bro. Whips are start to go goofy at 5 years now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Before,
absolutely.
I was waiting to get Grandpa's lack. When when
Yeah.
when I was like, man, as soon as I get 16, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get Grandpa's L dog. I'm gonna
Yeah.
roll into school, and it was solid. It
Yeah.
lasted all the way through college until I
Yeah.
realized gas in this sucker was expensive.
It was killing you. So let's talk about some things that the average person who's not techie like you and I, because I'm well and the community, y'all cost me some money, man. I tell you, every time I turn around,
Sorry.
y'all got some. But I laugh, but it's an investment. I see it just as you see it as an investment, because it is stuff that's in my office pays for my business. But for the person who says, "Hey Miguel, I don't care about all that. I just want to have good, solid Zoom calls. I just want to have good, solid audio. Why can't I hear? Why am I hearing that echo? Why is my mic suck? All those type of things. Let's talk about two or three things that every business person should add to their to their equipment in their offices.
That's a good question. That is an awesome question, actually. The
I'm
first
pretty
thing I
good at
would do
this. I've been doing this for a
automatically,
while.
the first thing I would do automatically is up your mic level game. And
Yeah.
here's the reason why. Nobody talks about this much because everyone's so concerned about what they look like. But when you was a little bitty youngin, about 2.5 minutes old, the
Hmm.
first thing you heard was mama's voice, you know, the doctor, whoever else is in the room. You heard mama talking about, oh, you're so cute, blah, 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 blah. Your brain just connects to the sound of the human voice from almost instantly.
Hmm.
You don't even get your eyes open for 2, 3 days. So by the time you can actually start seeing shapes and whatnot, your brain has been absorbing audio for a long time,
Yeah.
you know. And then so you want to fix your audio game. Something as simple as I'm gonna throw out some words here. Miguel, if you want, I can give you a list that you can, send out to folks later, but you
Appreciate it.
can go to Best Buy right now and get a Samson Q2U. It's a very simple microphone. It looks like what you hold in church when you go up to sing.
Mm-hmm.
The standard short SM58, which is the most common, like rock and roll show mic everybody has, right? So
Right.
it's built like that. It uses a USB connection. It does have an XLR connection capability should you decide to get an interface later. But fixing that level of your call will automatically, people won't be like, hey, I can't hear you, Steve. Like they'll be able to hear you clearly, and you don't have to yell, you don't have to raise your voice, like you just sound better. So
Mm-hmm.
that $50, $60 investment alone changes everything,
And so
right?
if it's a USB mic, for the folks listening to me that know, USB mics connect right into your computer. You don't need,
Yeah.
for the most part, if you have a newer Mac, you do need to have a dongle that'll let you attach to it to the USB C, no, Thunderbolt, sorry,
Yes.
to your
There is.
computer. But then, so Doc just mentioned a USB mic and an XLR. XLR is a
Oh,
microphone. It's got the little three prongs. I'm trying to see if I have one close to me.
I got
But
it.
okay,
Here's
perfect.
my Samson. I
Okay,
found my
perfect.
Samson right here.
There we
It
go.
comes in a pleather pouch. Sorry, they don't give you real leather at $50. But it's nice, right? So it looks like this. It looks like a standard church mic.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bottom, you got your XLR. But
XLR.
right there, spin it this way. Right there is your USB connector, which
Oh,
everybody
so it's
has in their
got both in
computer.
in the one mic. You can do
Yeah,
either
and
or.
the one mic.
Oh,
And I'm
perfect.
again, it's like 50, $60 depending on where you catch it. And again, one of my other favorite features, instead of keep messing with that mute button, which just messes folks up. Hey, you're still on mute. You just flick the little switch on.
Right.
Oh, I gotta hide my face. My camera's designed to find me. Just
Yeah.
on and off.
Right.
And this thing alone will just change your everything because you'll sound so much better. And again, you don't have to fight the mute button. It comes with a little stand like I have right here. It comes with
Mm-hmm.
all the cords that you need.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very good purchase. Best Buy,
And
50,
you know,
60
it's so
bucks.
important because here's the thing. I want you. This is the part that I'm trying to train our community in understanding. Content is king, and
100.
this is content that you can take later. If you record it on you know on a system on your computer, you can repurpose this into a podcast. But if you do that, you want your audio to be the best that it can be. Um, you know, recording a podcast with a phone, mm, that's not really the sound that you're going for, right, Doc?
No, it's not. And it's funny because everyone tells everybody you can get started with so and so. And this is true, right? You can get started. But the problem with folks in getting started is you get started and you get comfortable and then you never level up to the next thing.
Right.
So that's just a dangerous step. Like if you're going to start somewhere, give yourself a time limit to be there. Give
Mm-hmm.
yourself a time limit to come out. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's some of y'all that still go to the gym, ain't never added another 5 pounds to that weight. I mean, it's good. I'm happy you working out, but it's not it's not really gonna your body will get used to it and then you're not really working out anymore, right?
Right.
So I mean it happens. It happens with just about everything.
Right, right, right. So, so all right. So we got a microphone now. So let's talk about let's back up. Let's talk about computers. What is a kind of a low end, you know, ballpark type of setup that we should have as far as you know? Now you go to computers, they all look the same visually, but what's important, of course, are the guts of it, right? So if you're looking to
Yes, sir.
stream, if you're looking to you know start doing what we're doing now, or just do effective zooms, what sort of computers do you think from a both Windows based and then Mac based computers should we be looking for?
Okay, so on the Windows side, you kind of want something with an i7 or better. The Celerons and those kind of mobile chipsets, they're not really going to get it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Anything with a Celeron or better has things in it designed to handle video, especially from the content creation standpoint, not
Mm-hmm.
just your Zoom calls or whatever, but even popping up a quick video explainer for your clients or sending someone. Sometimes I send videos and emails because someone asks a question and it's like, man, it's going to take me longer to type that. They can't really get on a call right now. So I'll just do
Mm.
a quick video snippet and then send it to them and they can watch it and they like it better because they don't got to try to read something. You know what I mean?
You know
Like you're literally telling them, pause the
that's
video,
that's interesting. You that you say
right?
that because I had a guy who does who did some photography for me, and he when he sent the images to me, he sent me a video message, and I thought it was pretty cool.
It's
You know,
so
to get
easy.
that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so easy. We've had this technology forever. I mean,
Yeah.
well over 15 years, but very few people do it. But
Yeah.
it's handy, especially when you realize that sometimes in typing a message, tonality can go left,
Yes. Very
right?
true.
Because they can't read the impact in your statement. So
Mm-hmm.
pop up the phone real quick or pop up your video camera. I got this little guy here we'll talk about in a second.
Okay.
I just pop it up and I'm like, "Brrr," and then send the message.
Well,
And it's
Doc, I
way
want you to
more
do what you
impactful.
do well. You are a teacher of this stuff, right? And for people, drop any questions you have in the chat. We got Doc for about another 20 minutes or so. So if you guys have got some questions, I want y'all to ask him
Yeah,
because
don't be
I'm
shy. Don't be
don't be
shy because
when I tell
I
you
get
this
after
brother's
it.
got the answer. He's got the answer for most of this stuff. So if you got some questions in the chat, drop them in and we'll bring them in. And so you talked about the Intel 7. Let's talk about Macs. Um,
Right now, you can't buy a Mac that can't stream other than buying an Air. I wouldn't buy an Air for any reason other than give it to my kids. From a
mhm,
business perspective, it's light, but it's not. Other ones like an ounce and a half heavier. So get off of
mhm,
that. It's light. It's small thing. MacBook Pro or Mac Mini, and right now it's gone. Like just perfect for streaming. They're just designed well. In like a week or two, we're probably going to get 2 more Macs
mhm.
and yeah, that's going to get you on point too. And to Nyla's question, yeah, just come and hang out with us in the stream. You'll be good.
So now I asked the question: are there any classes? I got to let me slide this up. Yeah, I got it over here on this small little
Your
screen.
overlay looks marvelous, by the way.
Well, thank you,
I'm
sir.
just saying.
That means a lot coming from you, brother. You
Yeah,
know,
you did a good job.
I
You did a good
appreciate
job.
it. So follow Doc. You give me your YouTube real quick, or wherever she come up.
YouTube.com/Doc Rock.
Doc Rock, DOCROCK.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, we want some more questions. Bring them on in there, and we'll get them in. So So you said some new Macs are coming out. I am.
There's supposed to be an announcement. We're still the tech community. We're still fighting on what the day is, but I think it's going to be either the week after next or the week following. So sometime between now and the end of the month, they're probably going to drop new iPads, and there's conversation about new iMacs. And what's really cool about what might come out with the new iMacs is there'll be M1 chips similar to our M1s, but they're thinking about bringing the colors back.
I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! If they bring back the colors, I'm all over it, bro.
When they used to have the green ones and the pink ones and
yes,
all that
sir,
stuff.
bro. I loved my color iMac, bro. It was so much fun because people would walk in the office and they're used to seeing ugly PCs, right? They were, what is that thing? Is that a fish tank? Nah, fool, that's my computer. But they're like, oh, this is nice. So even I had the little orange clam. You know, it's like a small notebook.
Yeah.
I used to wheel that sucker to class and pop it up. First of all, not too many people was bringing computers to class. Right. When I roll in University of Hawaii with that, I set it up. They were like, oh, he from New York. He fancy.
Oh my God. So right now you said M1. And I got to make sure I keep an eye on you because, you know, you talk a language like everybody know. M1 is what?
Oh, my bad.
M1 came out maybe about 6 months ago or less. Talk to us about the M1 and how it's changed the game for Macs.
Anyone that has an iPhone or iPad since iPhone 4S technically has an M1. You just didn't know it. The chip that runs your iPhone and your iPad, they basically made a stronger, beefier, more legit version to run inside their computers. And the reason why is as they got so good at iPads and iPhones, you realize how much power a phone has. And it's like, man, my computer is not even as fast as my phone. And for certain tasks. So Apple was like, that's a novel concept. Why don't we just put that chip inside the computers? Changes the game. I mean, without knowing anything fancy, it's hard to describe how fast these new computers are, but they are simple. Like they're so quick. I literally do stuff that I'm expecting, you know, like you click something and you expect like a 15, 20 second, you know, gap. You click it happens immediately. And I do the Eddie Murphy.
So with the new M1, because literally I'm waiting for my M1 Mac Mini today. So the little pinwheel of death, that I won't say it's going away.
You barely see that thing. You barely see that thing. And yeah, well, one more thing. Okay, gang, I'm sorry, I'm a nerd or blurred, whatever you want to call me. I get excited. You can take iPad apps, because there's some iPad apps that are better than their computer constituents, right? Or they don't even exist.
Okay.
Because it's now running the same chip as the iPad, you could actually run iPad apps on the brand new M1 oriented Mac computers.
Oh, wow.
Let that sizzle your nugget for a second. Like you can actually take, because there's certain apps that are just really, really good on iPad, but they don't even maybe exist, right? Yeah. And then so being able to pull that over and run it in your window, and then the fact that you can take an iMac and use it as an additional screen to any an iPad. So you could take your little pencil off the top and, you know, do your little thing like you're, you know, one of those fancy artist cats with the drawing tablet.
Hold on. You just said you can use your Mac as a second screen for the iPad?
The other way around.
Oh, okay.
Because the iPad's the screen.
Yeah. Okay, I was like, wow. Okay, but for those who may have Macs, you can use your iPad. Like sometimes I use my iPad as sidecar. That's another option.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yep, it's sidecar.
That's right.
Looks like we have a question from the
chat.
That's a good question. How often should we upgrade equipment? What should we expect to spend annually to maintain the right level for the average person?
So that's the perfect question, Melvin. And I'll tell you my secret sauce. And I don't normally tell people this without charging them money. Okay, say I buy this computer, right? I bought this in August of last year, right? Yep. And again, this was $4,400, right? If I was to buy this cash on its second birthday, I put it for sale for $500 to $600 less than what I paid for it. And Macs hold their value so well, it flies. I mean, normally it lasts about 20, 30 minutes on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Now, pro tip on Craigslist, because people is wild out here, you tell them, meet me at the parking lot of the police station. Immediately, all the dudes that's like, hey, I'm in big way from Nigeria. I like to buy your computer. Yeah, he goes away real quick.
Right,
You know,
right, right.
and the Nigerian Prince guys are in India, so don't get it twisted. So anyway, I handle that. It's gone. So in my head, the way I have it set up by removing my equipment and replacing it every couple years, I'm roughly expending $250 a year for my computer.
Do the
Because
math.
you're not replacing the whole computer, you
Yeah.
are selling it.
You're selling the
Right
one that you
now,
have.
if
Yeah.
you flip it to like a lease mentality, like I do, I paid $2,400 a year. I mean, sorry, $1,200 a year basically for my computer. But through the lease, I'm able to get way more computer. You know what I'm saying? So if you're at the level where you can get a business lease, you should probably look into it. Talk to your accountant first though, because every business situation is different. The tax credits, the deprecation, like all of that above. You know what's really dope? Because I leased all of my equipment when it came time for EDIL and PPP. I'm just saying, bro. I didn't even pay for this. Orange Man paid for this joint at this point. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
And
you
we
talk to
talk a
your
lot about
accountant and
PPP
see
and
how you do it.
EIDL. Absolutely. We
Yeah.
talk a lot about that with the chamber in the chamber world. Great
Well, and
question.
especially because they just did the Title C thing. Schedule C. If you do a Schedule C thing and you actually made some income on it, they're actually forgiving some of them joints. You know what I mean? So, like, depending on what my accountant comes up with, this new computer might get forgiven.
Right.
After they've been ruining us for years, I'll take it. I ain't stupid.
So for further clarity on your tax deals, don't listen to Doc Rock per se.
Don't listen to me. You got to talk to your people.
Talk to
I don't even listen to
our
me.
financial services committee. We've got some folks who can help you
Holler
with that.
back.
But yeah,
as soon as I hear some weird stuff from my friends, I don't trust them, but it might be worth asking. I'm just like, listen, my accountant friend, I'm like, listen, bro, this might sound dumb. I don't know how to explain it, but Miguel told me this. You tell me if it's correct. And he calls me back the next day. Your man is on point. Or he's coming back and like fire that friend. That's it. Simple. I don't mess with that stuff by myself because it's not. Bro, you can get in so much trouble.
It's not worth
you
the
can
risk.
Be Wesley Snipes, bro.
Oh no, I'm not trying to spend not near a day in jail. All right, you guys are checking out Chamber Live. We got my man Shawn Doc Boyd from he was now. You've been in this role. It's so funny. It's like you were in this role before you were officially in this role, but now the community manager at ECAM, the ECAM
it is
network.
Funny though. It's true.
Man, oh my gosh, man, bro, you and your crew, brother. But let's talk about community building. We joke about it, and I told you guys when I was going to bring Shawn on. He's incredibly knowledgeable, but it's like you're talking to your buddy, and that's something that is invaluable. Because some people, you start talking, getting too deep about it, you're confusing folks. You was talking about the mesh networks last night, and I felt like I needed to pull out my pen and pad and take some notes. And I missed when you went in on the Orbi, because I got Orbis in the house, and you were saying something. I went.
If you got the new Orbi Wi-Fi 6s, they're probably good. The only disadvantage you have is if you say you're in the room and you got the little box right here, you don't have a way to plug something into it, right? So you can only use it from the Wi-Fi perspective. That's where you can get yourself into trouble. So you want to get ones that still have the port on the back where you can then stick a wire to it. And so it'll take the Wi-Fi, but then hardwire the last leap. And there it goes. But if that's Wi-Fi and the other one's Wi-Fi, why the wire? Because every hop is still a hop. So if you can minus one of the hops, you reduce.
We just lost our audience. So the Orbis are the cord isn't long enough. So for some of us who had these houses, in certain parts in the houses, you got dead zones. You get these mesh networks that you connect to your router. I mean, to your modem, and then you get them in the house. But you were talking about power.
You know how you explain it. You know how you explain it in street language.
Much better just than me. Go ahead.
You got your dude on the corner, he's watching, the other dude's over there, and all right, they got it. They passed the signal. That's what it's doing. It's passing the Wi-Fi signal through the Hootie Hoo network.
Yeah, but you talked
and
about,
if you can't figure that out, I'm ashamed of y'all.
so you talked about
y'all made it up.
And so we're gonna get into the community part of the conversation. You listen to Chamber Live with my guest, Shawn Boyd. You talked about the power. I had those power lines Wi-Fi deals 10 years ago. And, and of course technology gets better. And I didn't like them then, so I never went back to that. So these are so for the audience, these are the deals you can plug into your your electrical outlets in each room, and the signal is actually transferred through the copper wire and the copper in your walls, and that improves your signal. Because the bottom line is this: everything we have now, including some refrigerators, including almost everything, is connected now to Wi-Fi. Now, the whole Big Brother conversation, we'll have
100%,
that
bro.
on my podcast. We won't talk about that on the chamber
100%.
on the chamber one. But talk to us about before we move out of hardware and we talk about software and community. If you were to have it, if you were to go between like an Orbi network or like that Powerline network, and you even talked about a commercial setup, I think a couple days ago.
Yeah, I
Which
use
one would you
commercials.
recommend?
Honestly, commercial setup, and they're not as difficult as everyone thinks. It does require some stuff, but it's nothing you can't do through YouTube. And I just sat down with the dude on YouTube. I was watching him intently. I followed his instructions intently, and then everything worked. The other thing that's really cool with Unify is their customer support will walk you through setting everything up. So you
Mm-hmm.
call them from your phone, and then they will walk you through setting everything up. So the advantage of a commercial network is they're stronger. The equipment in there is better. I think they kind of pull a Gap Old Navy Banana Republic situation. I honestly think they take the same basic circuit board
Right.
and they test it. And the ones that are the fastest go to the commercial stuff. Call that Banana
Mm,
Republic. The
okay.
ones that kind of sort of pass, but they might be all right, they kind of go Gap,
They go
right?
Gap.
And then the
Okay.
ones that is kind of janky, they kind of go Old Navy, and you find them at Target and Walmart. I swear to you,
In
that's what they
in
do
that bin
because
where
it makes
everybody
no
digging through.
sense, right? It makes no sense to build 3 different levels
Yeah.
as a manufacturing standpoint. It's just complicated, right?
Yeah.
So I think they just test them, and whichever one's performing the best end up in the commercial stuff, right? So basically, it gives you some advantages. They're waterproof. They're really strong. They normally have places to plug in
So why
cords,
would I need
and they
so
normally
why would I need a waterproof Wi-Fi router, Doc? Why would I
you
need a
seen
water?
Texas.
Huh?
I mean,
Did I see
just
Texas?
Texas.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's not. It's just the fact that it's waterproof. What I do for my clients is I stick one in the backyard because in the loo we barbecue on a regular basis.
Right.
Like everybody's outside with the barbecue, so people want to be able to connect outside. In the backyard. And
Mm-hmm.
again, like you said, everything is what. Dude, my whip is Wi-Fi.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I'm in the house and I start the car, turn on the AC, check the battery, everything before I even get to the car.
Yeah.
So like everything is my car is a hotspot. So you're correct. That's another reason why you want a router that you can kind of put out back if you have an out back.
Yeah. I asked that question for that person in the audience. Like, I don't need no waterproof Wi-Fi mesh system. Yeah, but this summer
The
when you out
biggest
there
thing that
on the
we do to
grill.
ruin our tech though, brother, is we
Yeah.
tell ourselves I don't need. And
Mm,
the funny thing is people will tell themselves I don't need on something that's like a $10 gap. But there's
mm.
other secret stuff in that last $10 that changes everything that you would never know because you already set yourself to I don't need.
Got it. Got
So
it.
I tend to not let people do that to themselves.
Got it. Got it. So let's talk about community. We got a few more minutes.
Okay,
You've
bro.
you've built some really strong community. You're part of some great communities. You've built some great communities. Everything from your YouTube channel to what you're doing with Let's Get Live, and you've just been doing this for a minute. How has that helped your career?
Massively, massively. Um, the thing that's dope about community building is no matter what you're doing from a business perspective, I learned from a mentor a long time ago. Just solve folks' problems, bro.
Mm,
Everything else is BS. All of that mess you learned in business school, I got 3 degrees. They all useless. Throw them out the window. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Mom will be very mad at me. Sorry, mom. um, but the answer to that was just solving folks' problems, right?
mhm.
So when I decided to like become entrepreneur and do my own thing, I focused from solving other folks' problem. I didn't focus on how I was going to make money first.
Okay.
By solving folks' problems, you automatically make money. It's really strange, but pain points. What's your pain point? So everybody's pain point was like, boom, pandemic hit. I need to know how to continue to do my business, and we started probably from my DJ's live streaming stream. All the DJs was out of work. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
tell you guys how to make money while
Mm-hmm.
there's no clubs. You
Mm-hmm.
guys are slipping. Let's get after it.
Right.
People started, doing that. And then that led me to Ecamm. And then, I'm helping people like, hey, I got this church. I need to do my sermons. Like, how do I get it set up? So you solving some problems. Like,
Right.
bro, that was super helpful. Can I send you a donation to your cause? Well, certainly. Here's the address. Boom. Next thing you know, I'm like making more, helping people stay connected during a horrible situation than even my regular business, which is making furniture. Nobody was buying expensive hotel furniture after because all the hotels closed. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So by solving people's problems, you're doing a good thing. And then the other thing, when you become their problem solver, then people want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And the advantage to that, no matter what your business is, even if your business is like Rib Shack, you solving one problem of hunger. But now, you ever notice, like, anybody that owns a restaurant or a bar, clients always want to tell you their business. Why?
Right.
Because you solved the problem of their hunger. So now they think you can solve the next problem. So they start telling you, man, my kid, I've been in this case about these algebra thing. He ain't trying to get these grades. And it's like, dude, I just made you a sandwich. Like, why you tell me that? But that's how it works. Like, people want to come to you and then they want to talk to you. And
Yeah.
that's how you build community.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you're out there being a genuinely good person. You're solving people's problems. And then the other thing that they do, which I tend to foster, which if I can solve your problem, Miguel, I have one rule and one rule only: pay it forward.
Absolutely.
Right? If you don't
Absolutely.
pay it forward, you will get booted. That's
Yeah.
simple. Like,
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. Like, you have to pass the knowledge on.
Yeah.
And bruh, our ancestors been doing it for years with drums and dance. So I
Absolutely.
see the passing the message as it's in our DNA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
That's
idea of holding on to some secret sauce information to kind of stop somebody else from doing, we don't tend to do that.
No. That's the reason why I love the communities that we share, because that's the way that I am. And this comes from a guy who worked his way through college bartending, so I know that story. I give a guy a
So you
drink,
understand?
I'm counseling
man,
him
I
about
just
his.
talking to Louise. Louise is crazy, and I was like, dude, I just made you a vodka and soda. Like, I don't know, Louise. Why are you talking to me?
I used to have, when I was in college, these 3 or 4 guys I knew when they walked through the door, they didn't have to say a word. Okay, yeah. Okay, I got his drink. Blah, blah,
But
blah,
you know
blah.
what you did though, fam? You listened and you
Yeah,
made that person's day. You made them feel
absolutely.
real. Any bartender knows. Like, I worked in nightclub for 20 plus years.
Yeah,
Being able to like listen to folks when they feeling it, it's like you might have saved somebody's life, dude, and don't even know it, just
right.
because you was willing to listen.
Absolutely, it makes all the difference in the world. So yeah, paying it forward is important. And that here's the other thing that one thing you just said that I didn't know about you was that this was your side hustle, kind of starting to become your main hustle, because you pivoted when all of a sudden you were making furniture for hotels that right now people are not really staying in hotels as much as they used to because no one's traveling. And
Yeah,
so, we talk all the time within the chamber community about having 2, 3, 4, 7 streams of income. And so you had the
always.
ability to make that pivot.
Always. And the cool thing about so like, say you're I'll just pick a random topic. Like, say you're an insurance person. There are very highly regulated things about insurance you can't necessarily go on YouTube and talk about. Okay. And so people love to use that as an excuse as an insurance broker as to why they can't go to YouTube. You know what you can do? You can go to YouTube and, using your knowledge of personal finance because of your insurance,
Right.
and talk about solving other personal finance issues, right? That
Right.
aren't related to the ones that will get you slapped by your commission,
That's
right?
right.
Or you could just talk about being a dad or a mom, or you could just talk about, like, Creole cooking. Please talk
Yep.
about it. You can talk about whatever. But what they do now, they know you,
That's
right?
right.
They're gonna come on and they be like, man, I like that dude Melvin, man. He's super smart, and he's always out here. And you look at his, you start following him on social media. Oh, Melvin works for Allstate. I'm thinking about bumping up this insurance policy. Let me give him a call, because you're their
Absolutely.
friend, bro. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? You don't have to go to YouTube and sell what you are selling.
Okay.
My YouTube channel, there's 3 videos about furniture on my entire channel. I don't even talk about that.
Right.
But everybody in the community knows me from the nightclub side and from the DJ side, that then in turn get married and then they buy furniture, and then they hey,
So
can
you
you
got
make
them
me
for
one
life.
of them
You had
gorgeous
them
tables?
you went from
You know what I'm
DJing
saying?
when they were 25 to selling furniture when they're
Exactly.
35. Yeah.
right? I caught them from very young. So when they
Yeah.
call me up and now that they made it and they got a little paper and they say, hey, everybody say you expensive, but I don't trust nobody else to make my table because I want to be able to pass this on to my grandkids, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm like, seed sowed.
Yeah. There
Now
you go.
I will,
There you
reap
go.
that sucker.
There you go. We got a few minutes. If you have any questions for Doc, drop them in the chat. We'll drop them on here. So man, in any so we talked about Zoom. Let's talk about Ecamm. We even talked about Ecamm the whole time. For anybody who may want to drop a little nugget about that if you like. And then, before you do that, I do want to talk about you just dropped a little bit of knowledge on that, the importance of YouTube and how valuable that is to grow your brand, grow your business. And so talk to us a little bit about doing YouTube and
What
whether
people
having
should
the
know,
Go ahead. Talk to us
what
about
people
YouTube.
should know is that live streaming as we know it today is in its very, very embryonic stage. I don't even like to call it infancy. Now we've been live streaming since about 2006. Let's just call it a very long incubation period. Okay. Compliments of what just happened, it's about to explode. So, I got my first Bitcoin when it was worth $25. It just broke 50 something the other day. So sometimes things take long. Don't
Not
worry about
50
it.
something dollars, 50,000, y'all.
Oh yeah, 50 something thousand. My bad. so okay. People are like, well, that stream has been around forever. Yeah, but not at the clip it's about to get into. Especially when you realize, like from your own, let's say from your own watching perspective, right? The standard stuff that used to be on TV when we grew up, the In Living Colors, the Living Single and all of that, those kind of shows are gone, bro. So we get our entertainment mostly from the internet.
That's
And
right.
it's like, well, I'm not really watching YouTube. I'm watching Hulu. Guess what Hulu and Netflix and all these guys are trying to do right now? They're trying to pluck internet stars and bring them over to their platforms and pay them to do their streams.
They've got
It's
they got a
only
proven point. They got a point. What does it say? Proof of concept. They've already done it.
right.
The Kevin
It's already been
Stages of the
done.
world. That's
It's
right.
only going to get wider.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not producing content, whether it be IG or YouTube or TikTok or wherever, you are slipping at this point because it's only going to get wider. Devices are everything. Cars already coming with large screens built in, entertainment for the back. And like I said, my current car is a hotspot, right? So that's going to get better. Every TV you buy right now is a smart TV. You cannot buy a dumb TV at this point. It's almost next to impossible, right? Refrigerators are coming with that screen. Amazon is forever trying to get you a show. Like, hey, if you buy 3 pair of socks, we'll give you an Echo Show. Because they trying to get everybody in there. So just know you want to start being a content creator as opposed to just a consumer. And that alone grows your business, right? You might get monetized on YouTube or whatever, but it's a fantastic community building resource. So everybody should be doing your live streams because no matter what your business is, you can explain stuff better from a video standpoint than you can from, say, a written piece of paper.
Yeah.
Even if it's just to remind people to get those papers and fill those out and send them to you, you are doing them a favor. Let me show you how to fill this form out. Let me talk to you about trying to buy that first home.
Yeah.
Let me show you some things to look for when you're out in here. So you might go on an inspection for a completely different sale, and the inspector will take you under the house and show you why this foundation slipped. You ask the inspector, hey, can I video this real quick? And they're like, yeah, they don't care, right? You video it, and then you go to your community. When you're going through your inspection, make sure you ask your inspector to check the way the foundation sits. Look for these ground termites or Formosan termites, or, not, hey, I got a house on 43 Lloyd Street. You should come and buy it. Nobody want to see that, bro. They can do that by themselves. You want to give some valuable information.
Right. Couple more minutes, last 2 or 3 minutes. If you have anything you want to ask Doc, man, let me see. Let me play with my roadcast a little bit.
Yes,
I
like
my man Doc. I had to give him a little bit of applause. Can I give you the Jamaican?
Yes, sir. I went and added all kind of crazy stuff to mine. Like I do this. So
I
I
know
just,
some people always like, man, they over there nerding out on this stuff. It's a
you know
lot of
how we
fun. I
do.
appreciate Doc. I appreciate your time today, brother. And y'all make sure y'all follow Doc all over them internet streets, whether it be
It's pretty
Facebook
much
or
Doc Rock on everything,
Doc
like
Rock on
for the most
everything.
part.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
anybody that's like, business person, I'm about small business people coming up because we got to stick together. Like, regardless of all of this stuff that everybody talks about, everybody was fighting over various political things like that. Small business people was holding this joint together. Is what it is. It's unfortunate that the guys at the top get the most attention, but we have always, for many, many, many years, held all of this mess together. So it's important for us to keep each other focused. It's important for us to keep each other moving and supporting and paying it forward, sharing those lessons learned. Even when you run into a problem, sharing that problem. Hey, I ran into this, and you guys should be on the lookout. Make sure you don't have the same thing. You know, it's just like, hey, when you walk outside, make sure you don't step on that. People warn you, and that's how business is. And if we do this, it's just going to grow our business. And I think the last thing about being a content creator is you will find that you don't have business just in Atlanta, right? Your business will start to grow beyond.
Absolutely.
I have an amazingly large constituency in Japan. And they want to do stuff with me because they can brag to their friends that they got a business partner in America, and it becomes a bragging thing for them.
That is
So
dope. That is so dope. I just
yeah.
got the alert since I've been here. Can't see it, Doc, but my Mac Mini is outside, so I think I'm about to get off.
There you go, boss. There you go.
Doc,
Hey,
I
well,
appreciate you,
I am
family,
going to
man.
do the full setup from base to up. I'm waiting for Pastor Felicia to get her thing together, and then we're going to do it together. So I'll invite you to come in. We're going to just build them up from the same, from the position.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
empty Mac Mini to full up, Ecamm Studio.
Man, I appreciate that, and shout out to our folks who said that's a dope knowledge today. So we brought a little value today, brother.
Thank
Doc,
you,
man.
man.
I'll see you soon. I'll be peeping in on your any comments somewhere soon, somewhere during the course of this day, man. God bless, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
That was amazing.
That was pretty cool, right?
That was amazing. And my inner she geek was like, just I was in my zone just hearing him talk about having the Wi-Fi in the backyard. Check. Getting that.
He said getting that.
Getting that. That was amazing. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So Doc is dope, man. He's got a couple of communities. Let's Get Live, VIPs one. And just follow him, Doc Rock. And then the Ecamm community is the software that I use here. Believe me, this ain't for little boys and little girls. It's a little challenge. So if you want some help, there's some people who can help you, and they can help you in those different communities that we reside in. But man, Doc, man, that whole community is all about paying it forward. I don't know how many times that I just said, man, this doesn't work. I was having the biggest problem with sound and figuring out why I was having issues with sound, right? And so I've got this Rodecaster Pro over here on my desk over here, and all this other stuff and all. The problem was I had my monitors up, so the sound was looping, and then coming to find out about some other software that's up there. When I tell you that I was almost beating my head up against a wall for like a day, but you know what I would always do? When it came down to me, stop frustrating yourself. You got a community of people that have the answers. And when I tell you there are people in this community that not 2 minutes after you type a question, it's 5 people who have all the answers for you. And the same way we do with the chamber, where we're always looking to help each other out. This community that we have here that I'm a part of, these guys are amazing. So I look forward to opening up my computer and hitting them up every day. So before we wrap up, you said we had a few more events we got to announce before we drop off, things that are coming up with the chamber here in the month of March.
Yes. So just real quickly, we talked about the events that are happening the first half of the month. Just want to say that on March 18th at 6 p.m., the Veterans Entrepreneur Group, they're having an event. On March 20th, we're having our virtual open house. We do every quarter, so stay tuned for that. Okay. On March 25th, we're having Creating Differentiated CX, Customer Experience, with our Training and Professional Development Committee. And then on March 23rd, our YEC is having an event. So at the top of this this live, we talked about our different committees and our different affinity groups. So you just heard me mention the Veterans Group and the YEC Group, and then it's the Women's League is also having an event as well. So on March 26th, the Women's League is having their annual Women's League Retreat, LEAD, Learn, Engage, Adopt, and Dedicate. And again, like Miguel said, you can go on Eventbrite, type in Atlanta Black Chambers, and you will see everything that's happening in the month of March here for the Chamber, and plug in here with us on Facebook and all of our other social media platforms, and you will get the information you need about what is going on in the chamber. So that is.
Sister Raquel, you did an amazing job as always. Thank you for riding with me today. And so we're gonna have to do this again real soon. Make sure y'all pay attention to our threads. We will do this show at least once a month to keep everybody up to speed on what's going on. But just connect, find where you plug in. We're Atlanta Black Chambers. We're all about creating competitive, profitable, sustainable Black-owned businesses. That's what we do. And part of that was, like we did today, bringing some resources that can help you to do exactly what you want to do on the live stream. So if you miss any part of this, make sure you go back, share this with your friends if you enjoyed it, and continue to support the chamber. And oh, by the way, go to AtlantaBlackChambers.org and you can click on and become a member if you are in the Atlanta community. You want to become a member of an organization, or if you're a corporate partner who would like to align with us as well, we'll take care of you. God bless y'all. Have a great day. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.